Welcome to Bike Life, a podcast from the Warmshowers Foundation. Here, we celebrate our global community of touring cyclists and hosts who make life on the road unforgettable. Through stories, insights, and shared experiences, we explore the connections that fuel every journey. Whether you're pedaling across countries or welcoming travelers into your home, you're part of a movement rooted in generosity and adventure. Discover more and join the community at Warmshowers.org. Now, let's hit the road together. Hey everyone, this is Jerry Kopak, the host of Bike Life, coming to you from the Rocky Mountains of Breckenridge, Colorado. Today I'm chatting with Australian cyclist Simon Brain, who just wrapped up a 3-year round-the-world tour with his fiancée. They rode through 35 countries, camped in wild and unexpected places, and found community through warm showers along the way. Now home and already dreaming of their next tour, Simon shares stories from the road and what it's like to dive headfirst into a global cycling adventure. Simon, my man, welcome to Bike Life.
Hi, Jerry. Thanks for having me.
So, all right, let's just get right to it. 3 years, 35 countries, one big tour. Whose idea was this?
It was a bit of a combination of both of our tours. It was born out of COVID and started off as a small plan. We thought, wouldn't it be great to maybe cycle across one country, and then one country turned into maybe one continent. And then, about 2 years later, when we're still stuck in COVID, we'd saved a bunch of money. And I think it was Laura that initially said, look, we may never get the chance to do this again. Why don't we just go right around the world? Spend all of our savings and do it properly.
Now, were you guys on the road when this happened? When you said, let's just keep going because of COVID? Or was it something you planned initially?
It was planned initially, yeah.
Okay.
So we left sort of as soon as the lockdowns were over in 2022.
Yeah.
And so up until that point, it was almost 3 years of just staying at home and running our business and saving and planning.
Cool.
And then, so when we left, we knew we wanted to be away for about 3 years.
Okay. Now, did you guys have any bike touring experience? Are you professional cyclists?
No, none at all. So we bought the bikes during COVID. We actually weren't cyclists or anything like that. And we just found out the bike touring was a thing, and it sounded like it was going to really fit what we wanted to do because we've always loved travel and doing interesting things. So we just bought the bikes. We did a couple multi-day trips around our local area on the east coast of Australia, and then dove in head first when we started the trip.
Nice. I love that. Just curiosity and need for exploration.
Yeah.
So tell me about your route, because it's a big one. Like, how did you guys decide that we're going to go around the world? Because going around the world can mean a whole lot of places, but how did you decide where you wanted to go?
Yeah, we sort of just hit all the places that we've loved traveling before, and places that we watched a lot of people on YouTube and listened to podcasts like this one and found out great places for bike touring. And we started over in Europe because after COVID, we wanted to visit Laura's family who live in the UK. So we came over here, European summer, and started here, which, London to Istanbul is a really popular route, and that was the perfect place to start. And then from there, it was just sort of a lot of research done during the time when we were planning. Places like Oman and Mongolia popped up, and They were just, places too good to miss. So we changed our route to angle towards places like that. Also places like Mexico, we've traveled before and really loved it. So there was sort of a bunch of places we really wanted to get to, and everywhere else in between. We just made it up as we went along.
Nice. So what were some of those must-see places that were on your list?
Well, yeah, like I said, definitely Oman and Mongolia for us. We love traveling to places that are really different, have really different cultures to what we're used to. That's sort of our main passion is, seeing places that are a real adventure, doing something that's a bit different, and especially with bike touring within those places, you end up just in places that no other tourists ever will. So, those places, and India was a really great part of the trip for us as well, which actually surprised us. We were a bit hesitant to ride through India. We'd heard good and bad stories, but it turned out to be one of our favourites for sure. Yeah, we really enjoyed our time there.
Tell me about India. What part were you in, the north and the south?
Down the, I suppose you'd call it the west coast, like
Hmm.
down the coast of from Mumbai right to the southern tip down there.
Gotcha.
And yeah, we really loved it. We'd traveled a little bit of India before, just places like Delhi and further north, and we're a bit daunted by the hectic cities. But once we got there, we just had the time of our lives. Yeah, we really loved it. The people and the food and just there's always something happening and there's a
The
surprise around every corner. And yeah,
yeah,
it was amazing. We had
the
a great time.
the food, the smells.
Yeah,
What is it called?
it's just a sensory overload.
Yeah, and they have the veg thali, which is kind of like in Nepal they
Yep.
call it dal bhat, where you
Uh-huh.
pay whatever 90 cents or a dollar, and they just keep bringing you food until you tell them to
Exactly,
stop,
yeah.
which is great for
Yeah, or
cyclists,
the
right?
definitely, or the biryanis, and they just keep coming and piling up more on your plate and more on your plate. Yeah, we couldn't get enough of it. I don't think we had a bad meal in India.
That was probably my favorite place to travel as well for that reason and
Oh
other
yeah,
reasons as well. Yeah, I spent some time in the north, up in Ladakh, Leh, and near the
uh-huh.
Kashmir region, near the
Yep,
Pakistan border. And yeah, just some of the friendliest, kindest people. But
yeah,
obviously, the driving takes some getting used to, right? Like it's my partner describes it as a video game where you're just things are coming at you from
yeah,
all places, and then the horns, right? I mean, they're
yeah.
relentless.
Yeah, it's sort of I mean, a lot of people just describe it as organized chaos, but
Yes.
it really is because you're on the road and there's people going every direction coming at you. There's no sort of one side of the road to be on, and anything can be on the road, whether it's people with carts or the motorbikes or cows or whatever else. But everyone's sort of looking out for each other, and
Yeah.
there's no angry ever on the roads. Like
Yeah.
you can't really do the wrong thing. No one goes, "Hey, what are you doing? You're in my way." It's just
Right.
like, oh yeah, there's a million people out here and we're all just dealing with it. And yeah, you just get smiles and honks and people waving at you constantly.
And
It's
it
yeah,
and it
it's like
just
a
kind
party
of
out there.
works, right?
Yeah, it just works and it
Like
all, yeah, we didn't really ever feel in danger because like I said, there's never any animosity, there's no anger like people in some Western countries, people don't like cyclists, but there
sure.
everyone just loves you and is just
Yeah.
happy to see you. So
Ah, man.
it was really cool.
Hearing those stories just takes me back to some of my trips there and just puts the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah, we'd love to go up in the north, actually. I'd love to cycle up through the Himalayas now. So
Ah, man,
another time.
we will put that on your next list, and we'll share some intel because I got some ideas and routes for you.
For sure. Cheers.
So the first few weeks on the road, when you guys are figuring things out, what was that like?
It was pretty tough, mainly with the camping, because that was one of the big things for us is we love like camping and living in the outdoors. And so wild camping was something that was a bit new to us. We didn't know how it would go. And because we sort of started off, we got the ferry over to France and then we were into the Netherlands and Belgium and stuff. They're probably some of the areas that are the most difficult to wild camp in.
Yeah,
And we weren't finding it very easy and it was getting a bit frustrating. And we were like, oh, I don't know how all these other people are just wild camping everywhere. And we're finding it a bit difficult, but we got the hang of it pretty quickly, especially as we moved further east through Europe.
yeah.
And once you sort of hit, Hungary and stuff, yeah, you're finding it. You can camp wherever you want, and people are a bit more accepting of it. So, yeah, we got the hang of it pretty quickly, but was a bit daunting at first.
Was there ever a time early on when you thought to yourselves, like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea? Or were you guys always all in?
I think we were always all in, to be honest. Yeah, we sort of set that first London to Istanbul as that's the big first like benchmark to hit. And if we hate it by the time we get to Istanbul, we're gonna say, okay, we rode across Europe and we'll pull the pin, and that was our adventure. But I don't think there was any point that we actually either of us thought, no, we don't want to be doing this. Yeah, we were really, really happy with it the whole time, and it was all just part of the adventure, even the bad days.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, like even riding from London to Istanbul is still an incredible trip that people
Yeah,
would dream about.
yeah, that was for us. That was 100 days across Europe, and so
Yeah.
when we finished that and we thought, oh my God, we're actually going to do this for over 1,000 days. That was, yeah, it was just exciting for us. It was like, oh, we get to do this for a whole 3 years. So yeah, we were
Yeah.
just pumped on it. Yeah.
Do you remember when it went from being a trip to just being this is our life?
Yeah, probably like it wasn't a single point, but probably maybe by the time we're in India.
Hmm.
So after there, we went down through the UAE and or Turkey, UAE, Oman, and stuff like that, and then on to India. And probably by the time we were there, which was I suppose maybe 5 months, 6 months in, something like that. Yeah, by
Yeah.
then it was sort of just our normal daily life, and yeah, so it didn't, I don't know if that's a long time for it to take or not, but yeah, probably 5 or 6 months in. And then by the time we were a year, 2 years, almost 3 years in, we couldn't
Yeah.
imagine doing anything else. And the thought of doing something else was daunting.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to come back to that and the feeling of re-entry because that's definitely a thing. But we'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah.
So traveling together for 3 years, you probably you get to know someone pretty well. Did you
Yeah.
learn Did you learn anything new about her? Without sharing too many secrets.
I
Did, like,
mean,
did you guys
maybe
travel
not
well
learn.
together?
Yeah, we'd been together for 10 years already.
Okay.
So and we've run a business together. We've lived in different countries together. So we've always been very, very close in our relationship. So maybe didn't learn too much new, but definitely reinforced some of the things I knew about Laura, which
Okay.
is just how tough she is, how just an amazing person to be around.
Because you
I
have to be
was
tough on a trip like this, right?
Oh, completely. The resilience that you have to show, like I go back to the wild camping and stuff everywhere. Some of the places we slept, like whether you're sleeping in a fire station or behind a church or a cemetery or just by the side of the road sometimes, and she just took it all in her stride and never complained about it. It was probably braver than I was in a lot of situations. We actually had one really sketchy situation where we were held at gunpoint, and
What?
I was actually quite scared, and Laura was behind me, and I wasn't allowed to turn around because the guy had a gun to my head and was telling me not to move. And I said, "Are you okay back there?" And she just goes, "Yep, I'm fine." I was like, "Oh, I'm good. You're chilled out because I'm kind of crapping my pants off here." But yeah, she's just brave and just will take anything on. Is really what was reinforced.
Wow, that's incredible. And did that experience deter you to just say, hey, maybe we should do things differently? Maybe we should pack it up and go home? Like this is getting too serious?
No, it was a learning experience. It actually turned out we were camped really close to a border, the tri-border of Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey, and we were
Interesting.
camped there. And in the middle of the night, this small jeep pulls up, and guys jump out with flashlights and machine guns, and all happened very quickly. Had us
Wait,
on the ground with
machine
guns to
guns?
us. Yeah, full of machine guns, and it turned out that they were the military patrolling the area, and they thought that we were trying to smuggle people through that area. It's a big people smuggling area.
Ooh,
So, but that, we didn't find that out for the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then it all came to, and they were like, okay, they just got back in their tank and rolled on out of there and left us. So we realized after that, okay, we just got to be a bit more careful when sleeping near international borders and especially places like that where it's a known corridor of people smuggling and stuff.
wow. Uh, I didn't. So you,
Yeah.
you weren't robbed, obviously. Like, these guys were just doing
No,
their
they
job.
just yeah, they just went through all of our tent, pulled everything apart and started searching the area around us.
Yeah.
And that was when we were like, what do you guys want? They were clearly looking for other people. They thought we were hiding other people. And that's
Whew.
when we sort of went, oh, okay, they're probably not going to shoot us. They just think we're up to something. We're hiding something. And then they found our bikes and they were sort of scratching their heads and they didn't speak any English or anything. And they were just yelling at us in what turned out to be Greek. We didn't really know. And we were sort of saying, we're bike tourists. We're just tourists. We're camping and trying to say, buzzwords that they might recognize, but they weren't
Yeah,
interested
sure.
until they'd finished their jobs. Yeah.
Is this a story that you and Laura can look back on now and kind of laugh about? Or just
We
like, wow,
can
that was
now,
quite an
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I was pretty shaken up for a bit
I
afterwards, and it
bet.
was hard to talk about. But yeah, now we can look back and laugh. And yeah, it actually turned out we left that camp spot afterwards and we rode about 5 kilometers into a local little village. And there was one light on in a building, and it was a bar that was open. This was the middle of the night. We went into the bar full of what Greek farmers, and they invited us in. We told them what happened, and for the rest of the night, we didn't pay for a drink, and we partied with
Ah,
all these Greek farmers until the morning. And so it was a pretty funny night, all in all.
okay. That turned out to be a great story.
Yeah, and then we slept in the bar. The bar owner was like, "You're safe with us now. You sleep here in the bar. Have whatever
Oh,
you want." Yeah, so
what was
that was a bit of fun.
so you mentioned the difficulty of like wild camping in parts of Western Europe, and I've heard that, and I know parts of the United States can be challenging with wild camping as
Hmm.
well. But you've also in places like Mongolia and Oman, which I know are
Yep.
a lot easier to wild camp. Like Mongolia is huge.
Yeah.
You can pretty much sleep
Yeah.
and ride your bike anywhere.
You literally can, and that's one of the reasons why we love it so much. Was that you could just not only riding your bike and you just pick a direction, you head that way for a few days. Whenever you find a beautiful river or a lake or a really nice view from a mountain, you just go, okay, this is where I'm sleeping tonight. I just get the best campsite for every single night wherever I want. And the same in Oman. It's just accepted that that's what people do, and the only time people will ever approach you is to maybe offer you some food or drink or something and just check on you, check you're okay. And yeah, so places like that where it's completely accepted were just amazing to be in.
Gosh, I love that. So Mongolia's been on my list for a while. I had the opportunity to go there years ago, and it just didn't turn out. Had you been to Mongolia before this trip?
No, never. So
Okay.
it was something new and somewhere we'll definitely want to go back.
Yeah.
I think as far as adventure cycling, it was the peak for sure.
So, with any trip of this length, 1 year, 2 year, in your case, 3 years, there's inevitably something that happens where you think to yourself, like, wow, how are we going to get out of this one? Like, did you have any issues like that besides being held at gunpoint, but like any other
Yeah.
issues where you're like, wow, this is really a pickle?
Not really. Like we keep saying we had a pretty dream run. We didn't really have any illnesses or accidents or any major mechanicals or anything. Everything was always fixable, and we were able to either nurse ourselves or our bikes to the local town to get fixed up. But no, not really. To be honest, it's
Wow.
sort of something, yeah, which is pretty surprising with such a big trip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should
pretty
buy a
lucky
lottery
in that
ticket, man.
regard.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible luck.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're very grateful for that.
So no real.
So many great. Sorry, I was just so many like amazing experiences. We often get asked that one question is, "Oh, what were all the things that went wrong?"
Yeah,
But
sure.
so few things went wrong for us, and the list of things that went right for us is just endless.
God, I love that. That's great.
Yeah,
You said no real illnesses, right? I mean, food poisoning had
yeah.
to come in at some point. Like, do you remember where your first food poisoning was?
I had it one day in India, but very minor, like probably 12 hours worth.
Okay.
And that was it for me.
For three
Laura had it
years.
one for 3 years. Yeah, I'd
Whew.
say I would have definitely gotten more sick if I was at home.
Yeah, sure.
Laura got sick as well one day in India. And then she was sick a couple days in Mexico.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, we were fine.
Wow. Yeah, I always say I've traveled with my partner through northern India, and I love the food, the culture, but I just feel like it's inevitable at some point. Something India is going to
Mm.
bite you, and we always joke about this now. Like nothing brings a couple closer than shared food poisoning. So at the same
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah, we thought we sort of allocated extra time to our India trip because we thought, oh, there's just going to be weeks where we're wiped out and not
yeah,
able to move.
yeah.
But yeah, we were really fine the whole way through, which was, I don't know whether we've got a high resilience from it from living in Asia previously or
Sure.
something like that, or it was just luck. But yeah, we were okay.
Did you guys have an end date that you needed to be home by?
No date that we needed to be home by, just an end of budget. So
Gotcha.
we sort of budgeted enough for about 3 years, and we were out there for just over 3 years, just under 3 years rather.
So did you guys have any interesting or memorable warm showers experiences?
A bunch, yeah. We had there was one in Italy when we were trying to find a place to wild camp, and we were like, the usual thing in a forest, sort of looking around, and a guy cycled up to us and he said, "You guys are trying to find a wild camp, aren't you?" And we said, "Oh, yeah, we are." And he goes, "Well, I'm a Warm Showers host. Why don't you just follow me back to my house?"
Yes.
And that turned out great. And we went and stayed with him for a couple of days in Milan, actually. So that was really nice. And then a bunch of really great ones over in the States. We were blown
Really?
away by the Warm Showers community in the States. Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really nice. Uh, Especially the people that weren't even cyclists or weren't in the outdoor community, like just farmers and stuff who were just really friendly people who just wanted to meet people and just inviting us into their homes and spending time with them that way. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
really surprised and happy with those ones especially.
I love that. Was there any
Yeah.
particular fun or funny or quirky experience you had with the warm showers host that sticks with you?
Oh, I mean, there was one in Illinois where we turned up and this guy, a bunch of times people are like, "Oh, I'm not home, but I'll leave the keys under a rock. Just let yourself in." And that happened multiple times. And this one in Illinois guy was like, "Yeah, just let yourself in. We're at a party right now, but someone will come and pick you up." And suddenly this guy pulls up in a Tesla and picks us up, and he's like, I'm the chauffeur for the day. Takes us to this party on a beach, and we're out in this guy's speedboat and zooming
What?
around and drinking margaritas, and we're just like, yeah, just one of those times you look at each other and you go, "How did we end up here?" Like, because you never know whose house you're going to end up at.
Yeah.
It could be absolutely nothing, but yeah, just a bunch of hospitality through the US, like down in Louisiana, Florida. Someone had a big pond with a gator in it, and they were like, "Come out and
What?
see a gator in the pond." And yeah, just sort of endless ones. Yeah, we used warm showers in the US probably more than anywhere else,
Okay.
and yeah, really really enjoyed it.
Was that
It
your
sort of
first
made our time there.
was that your first alligator experience?
We saw a couple. We saw one in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
We saw about three on our way down the Atlantic coast, and then we saw some through Florida and all the way into Texas as well. But yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. So, offline, you had told me that because I was going to ask you, are you guys still together? How did that trip affect your relationship? And it sounds like it was a great trip for you guys. And you
Yeah,
said you just recently got married, right?
yeah, we did. So just 2 weeks ago, we went and eloped in Copenhagen, which was great, absolutely amazing. But yeah, the trip
Congrats.
just brought us closer. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely, like I was saying, if you can travel around the world with someone on a bike and come still be together at the end of it, I think it's a good test of a relationship.
No
Uh,
doubt.
yeah,
A- And
so yeah, really good.
I mean, obviously, you've been together for 10 years, traveled together for three more. So, do you guys have the same morning routine, the same evening routine? Do you guys both need coffee in the morning? Do you start this day the same way?
A little bit. I'm much more of a coffee fiend than Laura is. We're not really exactly. Sometimes I'll sleep in, sometimes Laura will. We're both generally morning people, but we also, on a day off, will lay in bed and have coffee and stuff. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
pretty independent with our routines. When we were back at home and in work, we worked together. So it was, yeah, both of us up at the crack of dawn and a few coffees and into the car.
Did
But
you get
yeah, we're pretty.
Do you guys each have your sort of little camp jobs? Like for example, my partner, she would get the camp stove going, and I would set up the tent. Did you guys have your little job descriptions?
We mix and match as
Okay.
well. So sometimes I'll get the dinner going, and Laura will set up the tent, or vice versa. If it's cold, Laura's
Yeah.
in the tent and in her sleeping bag, and I'm sort of outside in the tent. Or if there's mosquitoes around, I'll be
Yeah.
outside the
Yeah.
tent doing everything and keeping Laura nice and safe inside there. Because
Nice.
mosquitoes don't really affect me, and neither does the cold. Whereas they like to get Laura.
She's
But
sweeter than
yeah,
you, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who does laundry on your rest days?
If we do laundry, we both do our own. Actually, we
Okay.
both try and just do our stuff in the sink or in a puddle or
Sure.
in a river whenever we can. So yeah, we both just wash our own laundry.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm
And
always
if there's
curious.
a washing machine available,
Yeah,
then it'll
right?
be either of us. Yeah, we don't really consign to one of us doing any one thing. It's very much if one of us feels like doing it, we do it. If not, the other one will do it. It works
Yeah.
pretty well.
Did you guys, I mean, did you sort of have planned rest days, or would you just kind of ride for 7 or 8 days and feel like, hey, I'm tired, we should take a break? Or you get to a place you really want to be and you just decide to stay there for a couple of days?
Yeah, it was much more when we get to a place we really want to be, we would take a rest day there. And then at first, when we started the trip, we thought, oh, it'll be one rest day per week or
Hmm.
something like that. But it never worked out that way. Especially, I mean, we spent a lot of time in Asia, and so much of the time you're trying to get from a point A to point B, but that might be 1,000 kilometers away. So it might take you 2 weeks or whatever to get there. And so we would sometimes ride for 2 weeks, 3 weeks without having a day off, just because we'd prefer to spend 5 days off in the really nice place we were trying to
Yeah.
get to rather than a day off in just the middle of nowhere along the way. And we did the same in the US, actually. We had a few places we really wanted to get to and hang out in for a few days. So, yeah, we much more take blocks of time off rather than like a day a week.
So, what were some of the, I don't know, the more unique countries that you went through? I know you went through Oman and Mongolia. Like, give me some other countries that you guys found your way into.
Working better, we went through Morocco, which we really, really enjoyed as well. Mexico, like I said, was great. We spent a lot of time in Canada and the US, just because such a huge place to explore, and
Yeah.
we thought we may as well. Unique wise, I mean, Indonesia, and we made it over to Lombok. Not that it's a different country, but we really enjoyed the island of Lombok. Rode right around there for a while. Um, yeah, I mean, through Eastern Europe, Bulgaria and Romania, we really loved a lot of Eastern Europe. Serbia was amazing. Yeah.
Did you guys make it into like South America or more of Africa? Because you mentioned Morocco.
No, we originally wanted to make it down to South America,
Hmm.
but we were running out of funds towards when we got there because we knew that if we had ridden down to Ushuaia, which was the plan,
Yeah.
once you get there to make it out would have cost us a lot of money.
The
So we
flight.
ended
Yeah.
up the flights out of there, you're pretty remote, and it's actually pretty expensive down around Patagonia and stuff as well. So
Okay.
no, we just went down as far as Mexico and we rode sort of the length of Mexico and spent a lot of the time there instead. And then that was why we managed to fit in Morocco. Otherwise, we would have flown from wherever we were to Spain or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So 3 years, you guys come back home. Were you ready to be done? Or were you just like, hey, I could keep going?
We could definitely have kept going. Yeah, the only reason we finished was because of the budget, and
Yeah.
even now, we're only going back to work for long enough to save to do another trip.
Oh yeah.
So
What's on your hit
yeah,
list?
we're not exactly sure, but I mean, the short list is the stands. We want to ride through the stands, maybe Georgia, Armenia, if that area is able to get through as well. Georgia, Armenia, and the stands. I would like to continue that trip potentially down towards Nepal,
Hmm.
if we're in that area. But if not there, we'll go to South America and do top to bottom of South America.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah,
So
the two main areas we missed.
I've been in Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan, but never
Oh
Tajikistan
yeah,
or Uzbek.
uh-huh.
So I've heard great things. So
Yeah, it looks like a really cool region. It's sort of Kyrgyzstan, especially, looks similar-ish to Mongolia, similar
yeah,
lifestyle and stuff.
yeah,
And yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
just big, wide open country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we really enjoy the mountains as well. We actually, like I said, we just got married 2 weeks ago. We did our honeymoon was hiking around Mont Blanc, and we
ooh,
really loved being up in the Alpine areas. So I think the stands, Kyrgyzstan and stuff is a big draw.
heck yes. What was reentry like when you guys finally got back home?
It's been pretty chilled at the moment because we still haven't gone back to work or anything. So
Okay,
it's I mean, it was difficult. I definitely had, the downs for a little bit. I was bit of depression creeping in and like dreading having to get back into normal life. But
yeah,
perked back up, especially now we've been making a plan to just, okay, we're going to go home, we're going to get into work and just work hard, save for maximum of a year, and it's nice to have a plan to be working towards.
Yeah. Do you think this trip has changed you guys in any way? And if so, in what way?
Yeah, probably in realizing that, I mean, we are married, but we don't want to have kids. That's sort of cemented that. It's just cemented that we really want to continue living a life of adventure. And I always thought, even though we weren't going to have kids and stuff, I would still want to have the house and, a job that I'm going to 5 days a week. And now we're very much just like, let's just keep living this lifestyle, save as much as we need to, and then travel as much as we want to.
Yeah, it
So
can be addictive for sure.
yeah, and so we're pretty happy that we've settled on living this lifestyle now for as long as we can.
Excellent. That makes me so excited to hear you guys say that. So, I want to wrap this up with just some rapid fire travel questions, just some things that are
Oh,
super easy. So, sound cool?
yeah,
All right. So, first one, easy one. Do your bikes have a name?
Laura's does. Laura's is called Donkey.
Donkey.
Um, yeah,
What's the story?
Laura, I think it comes from sort of like Shrek.
Shrek.
When it's
Yeah.
yeah, the donkey in Shrek. Yeah, I'm not sure. She just started calling it Donkey one day, and that stuck. And mine never really got one that stuck. At first, we were calling it Turtle because it was like a dark green color.
Okay.
But it never really stuck. No.
Okay. I do think it's important that your bikes have names. So,
Okay.
all right. So, very cliche question, but I ask it from time to time. So, every place is different, every place is unique. But did you have a
Mhm.
favorite place or a place that you'd like to go back to at some point?
We always say our favorite country in the world is Thailand.
Yeah.
It's where we used to live there. That's where we met. We're both living there and working there. And yeah, we will always go back there. We're actually going to go there in about a week's time as well for the second part of our honeymoon. So Thailand, it's just got everything. The people are so good. The food's so good. We can't help but be happy when we're in Thailand.
Yeah.
I mean, the heat is the only bad thing you've got to deal with there. And if you can get through that, it's just impossible to have a bad time there.
Yeah. The Thai smile is real. The street food is unbelievable.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we really explored. We spent 4 months of our trip riding around Thailand,
Excellent.
and really explored areas that we'd never been before and probably not a lot of tourists really travel to, and
Okay.
finding those places, even the really tiny islands that are a lot harder to get to, but they're worthwhile when you make the effort. It's just it's an unbelievable spot.
Were you in the north, like Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai areas?
Everywhere, yeah. We
Yeah.
went north to south, east to west.
Phew.
Yeah, we went. We rode the Lana Kingdom route when we were over there, the
Okay.
bikepacking route up
Yeah.
north of Chiang Mai up to Pai, and yeah, we rode all over. We spent a lot of time on the west coast and in that area, visiting all those little islands and riding around them. Yeah, it was great.
Nice. So that kind of answers my next question, where I was going to say, is there a country that you thought, like, I really don't want to leave, or I could spend more time here? And it sounds like Thailand definitely checks that box for you.
Yeah, Thailand definitely checks that box. We always say when we're in a country, could I live here? And the
Yeah.
answer is yes for probably 75% of the places we were.
Oh, really?
Places like Morocco and Oman as well. And like I said, with Mongolia, we definitely want to go back to, and they are places we will get back to. Yeah, there's pretty much everywhere. That's a bit of a trap with travel, isn't it? That once you go somewhere and you took route A and you meet people that took route B, and all of a sudden you've got another reason to go back there.
Yeah. Was there a particular place or country that was particularly challenging to you guys for one reason or another?
Mexico was quite hard. It was challenging route wise because of the conflicts with cartels and stuff there.
Mm,
So it was sort of hard to go exactly where we wanted to go with everything, with all the advice that was getting given to us. But in the end, we found, I mean, everywhere we were, it felt super safe. Everyone was super nice, and yeah, it was a really great place to be. So we never had any problems, but it was a
okay.
bit challenging finding our way through.
Yeah, I know the people in Mexico in general are very kind and very generous and very open people. So glad you
Yeah,
had a good
yeah,
experience.
Yeah, we did, and we were invited into people's homes when we asked if we could camp in their yard. They said, I've got a spare bedroom, just come on in and stuff like that. So yeah, just like everywhere else, you just meet amazing people there.
So, based on a prior answer, I think I know the answer to this question too, but what was your favorite food country?
It's probably India or Thailand.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Like I said, we didn't have a bad meal in India. It's just constant, the constant quality food. But it's pretty hard to beat Thai food. Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Completely agree. How about favorite landscape? Desert, mountain, coastal?
Um, that's a tough one. I really love coming from Australia where we don't really have amazing mountains. I really love seeing a snow-capped mountain. So when
Mm,
we're in Canada riding through the Rockies, I was just sort of awestruck every day. And similar in we rode through the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. I really
yeah.
love Morocco because of the variety of landscapes there. So going through where there was snow on the mountains when we're riding through them, and then you drop down into a dry desert with palm trees and stuff. So sort of the variety was the best thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Did you carry any luxury items with you? Like things like, I don't need
Um,
this, but it's nice to have.
Probably our chairs. So we have
Okay.
those super light Helinox Zero chairs,
Yeah.
and those paired with a Kindle is just make camping so comfortable. Then you
Yeah.
can set up your tent and sit back in a comfortable chair and read your book, which the Kindles have. Laura's loaded them up with over 100 books, so we're never starved of anything to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably those two were the best luxury.
Did you figure out some things that you just didn't need along the way that maybe you thought you should and maybe you offloaded it?
We probably, I mean, we were pretty light right from the get-go, probably
Okay.
because of we did quite heavy research and we were pretty well versed in camping and stuff before. There would have been things, like a note, like we thought we'd take a notebook with us, which probably wrote in one day of the trip. You just do all your writing on the phone these days. Um, yeah, and just small things. Everyone says to take a head torch everywhere you go, but I
Yeah.
don't think we used the head torch the entire trip because when you're stealth camping, you don't want to be drawing attention to yourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise we're just in our tent and we just never really felt like we needed a head torch, which is probably a controversial one that everyone swears by.
Uh, Paper maps or offline on your phone?
Offline on our phone for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of old school people sort of bag out the phone maps
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
going through places like India and Indonesia and Vietnam, the road system's so intricate. There are a million roads there, and
Hmm.
if you were using a paper map, you would be taking the main road. Whereas you get put on these routes when you're using an app like Komoot that you're like, do they even know that this is a road? Because often it's not a road; it's just a path through a farmer's field or something.
And
And
somebody had
so,
plotted it
yeah,
on that map.
yeah,
It's crazy.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. A lot of the time, we wouldn't have been able to stop in big cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh or Mumbai. You wouldn't be able to follow a paper map because you're making 100 turns a minute. And so, yeah, definitely using our phones the whole way.
Yeah, I agree. I started off with a paper map probably 15 years ago before all these offline apps were available, and it changes the entire plan. It changes your ability to go to these very unique places and take secondary, tertiary roads that,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Let's see. Favorite snack food on the road? Like what do you keep in your frame bag or in your panniers?
Big variety, but we're pretty much junk food addicts. A lot of chocolate bars and
Snickers and
stuff like
Cadbury's
that.
and
Yeah, and Stroop waffles. Stroop
ah,
waffles are a favorite. Anything, sugary was usually a favorite.
I feel like Coca-Cola and Snickers is available every place in every city in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
All right. And lastly, any tips for people who are listening to our show today, who are thinking about this idea, and where would they start?
Just pick a place in the world that you would really love to explore, somewhere you've been interested in, and go for it. Don't be hesitant about it. don't worry about what's going to be there because, I mean, we might have had a dream run, as I said, but I think the same story is for a lot of people, that you're just going to have an amazing time and you don't have much to worry about. Just get out there and do it.
I love it. Simon, thanks so much for taking time and sitting down with me today. How can the people listening out there find out more about your travels or your next trip?
We're on Instagram and YouTube as We Ride Bikes Places. You'll be able to find us there. And we put up a couple videos and reels and lots of photos and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll be back out on the road before too long.
Yeah, thank you. I checked out both those sites and there is some funny and inspiring stuff on there. So you guys should all check it out.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to my conversation today with Simon Brain. If you enjoy our show, give us a like, a share on our social channels, or maybe just tell your friends. These stories hopefully will inspire you to set off on your own bicycle adventure and maybe make the world feel a little bit smaller, one pedal stroke at a time. And until then, keep the wheels rolling and the stories coming. Thanks for joining us on Bike Life. I'm Jerry Kopak, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we enjoyed sharing it with you. Please leave us a rating and review, or just tell your friends. This helps us reach more cyclists and hosts around the world. To learn more or become part of this amazing community, visit us at Warmshowers.org or follow us on Instagram at Warmshowers_org. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have a question you'd like us to explore, email us at podcast@warmshowers.org.